I'm a guardian angel for relationships. I am not trying to take their man. And I think it's very foolish and silly to expect from one person to satisfy all your needs.
Welcome back to Offbeat. I'm Tommy McDonald. Today we're talking about when men cheat in relationships. But the twist is, I'm asking professional escort Shona River for her take on things. Escorts have a really unique view as they meet with hundreds of married and attached men. Before we get into it, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any episodes. So coming up, we're going to tell you just how many men cheat on their partners and why they do it. And Shona is going to tell us what it's like to see a married man at his house while his wife and children are away. And she's also going to tell us how she feels that as an escort, she's actually saving marriages rather than hurting them. So make sure you tell me in the comments what you think to that, and enjoy the show.
We haven't done this for a while.
It's been a long time. Been a long time since we're in the same place.
True, but I am very happy we managed to reunite.
Yeah, I got to freeload on your Milan apartment. So today we're talking about cheating, which I think as a professional, as an escort, this is another one of those topics where you're probably really an expert in it. Like you probably know a lot about cheating just from being exposed to so much of it. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think so.
What percentage of your clients would you say are cheating on their partners?
It's hard to say because it's kind of like a private information. So if they don't say they have a partner or not, I don't really ask them. They need to come forward first. And I know some people, they're hiding it.
How do you
Like
know?
they take off their ring,
Really?
but they should not, I'm not gonna judge them.
How do you know they take off their ring though, if it's not? Oh, just as like a tan line or something.
Something like that, or they will just keep low-key doing this.
Really? Like as if like a phantom wedding ring.
Yeah, they just like, I was like, are you nervous? Like, oh yeah, I'm nervous, but yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I take off my ring, and but now I'm like touching the, I don't know.
Well, that's interesting though. Do you think it's like their conscience, like they start to feel a bit guilty? Like,
Maybe. I think it's for, I don't know if why they would do it for me. I'm quite open-minded.
I mean, guilty for their wives or?
Yeah, they know they're doing something dodgy.
Yeah. So what, and
What
have you any idea?
percentage?
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 60% of them, they have a partner.
Wow, that's a lot. Because you'd assume,
I assume
yeah.
it's not a scientific
You'd think,
research.
the stereotype, or at least the stereotype would be that, you know, the guys that are paying are the guys that maybe are lonely, can't get dates, can't get sex. Like they're the ones paying. But it's not true, really, is it?
You can still be lonely, and the worst kind of loneliness, if you are surrounded with people, or in this case with partner, and you feel lonely inside the relationship. So I think that's even worse than being officially single and lonely.
I think that's true. I think I've seen that quite a lot. And you see it a lot in those relationships where the guy says something stupid and the girl's just like not really respecting him and just like rolling her eyes at things he says. And you can see like they're just a couple that like, this is not going to last long. I've seen that quite a lot.
I can see that they can drag it on for a long time.
Especially if there's children involved. Or I think a lot of people, they're scared of losing their relationship more than, you know, they'd rather be unhappy in a relationship than unhappy not in a relationship.
Yeah, but it's difficult because my clients are between, averagely, I would say, between 35 and 50. But of course, they can be older or younger than that. And so I can say they're a different generation, different times. Then people get married, have kids, and when you're already in a relationship for 20 years, you're not gonna divorce from your wife.
What are the most common reasons they give for cheating? The ones that tell you that they're they're married or whatever?
There are all kinds of reasons, but I really feel bad for those people who tell me that they had kids with their wife, and since then they don't have a sex life, no intimacy at all, and who were your girlfriend, your lover, your best friend, turn into a mother, and she's not wanting to sleep with you anymore.
They're getting rejected by their wives, basically.
Yeah, so they don't have any intimacy anymore.
Yeah.
And it must be so difficult because you love your wife, you love your kids, you love your home, but there is just something missing. And usually, traditionally, the only person you're supposed to have intimacy from is your wife. But what happens when your wife denies it from you? Then what are you supposed to do?
And do you think they're being honest?
I think a lot of them, yes.
Yeah, I guess I just like I don't know a lot of married men, and I've always known a lot more females than males, just partly because of my work, even before I did this. And a thing I've noticed is that women also, their main complaint from their husband is that their husband doesn't want to have sex with them anymore or doesn't give them enough sex. And generally, I found that women in relationships seem to want a lot more sex than men do in a long-term relationship. So it's like, to me,
How
it's
do you
like
know this woman?
most the women I know either from work, like before this, I was like working in like marketing and media, and it's very female dominated. So I've just always had a lot of female friends, colleagues, that sort of thing. And it's a major complaint is women just saying like their man doesn't want to have sex with them. And in a lot of women I've dated that have been divorced, that was their main complaints, that the man didn't want to have sex with them. So it's interesting that
Yeah, so
the
it
men
looks
are,
like it can be on both sides.
yeah. But I wonder which one's true.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Because I know I have quite a high sex drive, and I also dated guys who I would like to have sex, let's say, every day or 5 times a week, and they were not. They would be happy to do it twice, and it's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah. And I think every day is quite rare in a person. And I think like, when you're new, of course you do, right? But then, I don't know, you lose that bit of novelty and somehow it just gets less. I think not with everybody, but with a lot of men and women.
I feel like I'm riding a roller coaster, like a hormonal roller coaster. And there is 1 month when I would have sex every single day and maybe twice a day. And there would be another month when I would be happy not to have sex at all. So it's super random.
Yeah. I wonder what happens when you get into a point where you're not having sex at all, maybe for years. Like couples should surely talk about that, right? Or not go see an escort. Or I don't know, what do you think?
It's a very sensitive topic. I see people have a lot of difficulty to talk about sex. They just never do. And it's like, also they don't improve their sex life. If there's something wrong with it, or it could be different or more, or try new things. And it's also like in some countries people are even more close-minded, and there are other countries where people are more open-minded and curious. And in places like, for example, in Italy, it's such a taboo topic to talk about sex and being in court movies and stuff like that, but it doesn't block people to have sex, because this is how kids are born. You have to have sex, right?
Well, that might be their
But
problem because no one's having children here.
oh,
It's dying like just as fast as Hungary.
that's sad.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy the authentic pizza till we can.
Yeah. I spoke to a guy recently and he was complaining that his partner had gained weight since giving birth. And that was why he was kind of looking elsewhere. But I don't know. I just felt like that's a bit unfair because like men also gain weight and lose weight and it's just natural, isn't it? But I guess how do you say to your partner, Oh, at the moment, I don't really feel like it because, you know, it's a very really mean thing to say to someone, isn't it?
It is, and I think the problem is in his head. Because if he loves her and it's a temporary thing and she's carrying his baby, then I
Yeah,
think
you're
he
right.
should work on himself.
Yeah, and you can still be attracted to the person even if you're a bit disappointed in parts. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you're not gonna look better as you get older, are you? So you're gonna have to accept some
And I have never
degradation?
been pregnant, but I know it's so difficult and women have so much
Yeah.
trouble. Some women, they're like risking their life,
Mhm.
giving birth, like the hormones are upset. And there are a few women who said it's like, oh, it was so nice and so fun and I really enjoyed it. But so many women, it's like a real misery, morning sickness. So,
And it's not just that, like, after giving birth, like,
and depression after. So it's a really harsh thing to like put this on her plate as well. Like, sorry, you're not attractive.
yeah, and I think also when you have children, it's so exhausting just raising them and being around them and giving them attention that maybe it's easy to neglect your partner after that. Or maybe not neglect your partner, but neglect your relationship because men also raise children. So it's exhausting for them too.
Yeah, I talk about this with my mother because she was together with my father for such a long time, and she also told me since I was born, they a bit grew apart and they were not really lovers anymore.
Mm,
So even my own mother was verifying the same tendency what I saw in my client's marriage, that women do really often are not interested in sex. And of course, I only hear the stories from the man point of view because
yeah.
I only had one female client so far.
Yeah. Because I think the instinct would be to think, oh, that's a really scummy thing for them to do. Like, oh, it's just some
Yeah, they're just
sleazeball guy.
justifying they're horrible and they're just justifying for being an
Yeah. Yeah.
asshole, right?
Then the other way of thinking is that you might be saving these relationships.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that point. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I
Is,
do think
is that valid?
in a way I'm a guardian angel for relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you think that?
because the wives do not need to be afraid of me because I am not trying to take their man, their husband, and they come to me because they need something.
Mhm.
They feel like the relationship is lack of something. So I just give the missing parts, and then most of the times the man is happy to go back and have the family life, have the barbecues on Sundays, and enjoy all the benefits. And I think it's very foolish and silly to expect from one person to satisfy all your needs, right? Because, hear me out,
Yeah.
if I date somebody and he's a big football fan and he would want me to be with him and go to all the matches, it would be horrible.
Yeah.
F horrible, because I think football is so boring. Or alternatively, he would want me to go for fishing with him. You know, and once in a while, like, okay, I can go fishing, but it's not really my interest. And he would drag me all the time to the things I don't enjoy doing.
I I see the point you're making, but at the same time, I think when you do marry someone or get into a long-term relationship, you pick someone that's compatible, and it's okay to have some of your own interests as well. Like, you don't have to do everything together.
No, that's true
Or are you talking or is this a metaphor for sexual things, for example?
as well. So it's okay to go with your best friend, Danny, to the match, and you can go to fishing with Joe, right? Why not? But if you want to have sex, you cannot go with Shona, right?
Well, yeah, because you have your
That's
wife for
not
that.
allowed. Yeah. But what happens when your wife says, no, sorry, I'm not interested? Then what are you supposed to do? Because you love your wife, you love your kids, you love your family life, but there's just something missing.
Yeah, like, I guess I'm going to see things through quite a UK lens. And like being here in Milan, I'm looking around and I've never seen so many good looking people in one place
Really?
for a long time. Yeah, last time I was in Kiev and there was like a lot of very good looking people. And here in Milan,
When you say
there's
people, do you mean
men and
women?
women, men
Men
and
and
women,
women.
because people take care of themselves here. I'm looking around, there's hardly any overweight people. Everybody's very well dressed. No, if people are wearing casual clothes and sporty clothes, they're like very elegant sports clothes, you know? Whereas when I'm in England, people are just wearing like very scruffy clothes. They,
No,
well, it
that's
depends
not.
where you are. In London, it's a bit different. But in general, in England, I guess in Milan, maybe it's different to the rest of Italy. A lot of partners, they don't take care of themselves. And maybe if your partner doesn't want to have sex with you, maybe as a man, you've gained weight. Maybe you're not taking care of yourself. You're not grooming. But you've got to put the effort in and make sure you're appealing for your partner, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure attractive couples have more sex than unattractive couples because I think there'd be like a stronger natural urge. That's my suspicion.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
But I think you can lose that if the person you are changes dramatically. Like with my parents, like my dad, he used to be skinny like me, but now he's like 17 stone or something. Like that's,
Stone.
oh, you don't know those weights, do you? Many kilograms. I don't know how many kilograms.
You guys are so funny.
And like that's got to affect the attractiveness, your sex life, your athleticism, all of that. So,
It's super complex.
mm.
And with age, it's usually decline as well.
Yeah, and you expect to decline, but I think you expect to maintain some, you know, like you maybe don't chase fashion as much as you get older. You might, your
Yeah, when
priorities
you're
might,
more settled, you're more comfortable, you don't
yeah.
feel the need, you always need to impress your partner.
Well, you're
But
spending, you're
if you
spending
would,
money on children, so you might not have
yeah,
the money to spend on nice clothes, for
but
example.
also it would not be sustainable because we are so attracted to each other in the beginning and we are like putting 110% effort. And we can't keep living our life like that because otherwise we would have no energy for anything else.
Well, we spoke earlier, and you were saying how early in your corn career that those videos are all online forever, but you look better now than you did
Yeah.
then. So it doesn't have to go that way. Like if you're doing well
It's
in
quite
life,
annoying.
a lot of people, you know, they look better as they get older because they, um, their identity, like who they are, their feeling of who they are, I think becomes more solid. Like they, you know, they figure out their tastes, they figure out their makeup, they figure out who they are better more. But that doesn't happen for everybody, I guess. So I don't know. I guess I see like both sides. Like it doesn't have to be a constant decline. It can be like growing together for a while, then declining. So I guess I got way off track with cheating. But
Yeah, so where were you cheating? So, married man. I think this is not horrible to cheat, I can say.
overall, you would say that
Because when
you
I see that sometimes I have a conversation with some clients who are open to talk about their marriage and I like to do girlfriend experience. So they come back, we talk, how are you? We are catching up on each other's life and they would tell me, oh, with my family we went to a ski trip, it was amazing. Oh, and then my wife had a birthday and I gifted her this and this super nice jewelry.
Mhm.
So then I feel like it's not super horrible to look for a companion because this is the smallest bet they could do. If they would look for somebody else like a lover, that would be a way bigger threat to their relationship.
Mm.
And I think for man, he can be in love with his wife, and if he provides everything and care and being caring and nice, but occasionally he would treat himself for 1 or a few hours with a nice companion, and he could go back to the family and act like nothing happened and there is no influence. He would not neglect them in any way. I don't think this is a horrible thing because
Let me ask you then,
yeah.
do you think a lot of these guys, if they could have a relationship with you, that they would?
Ooh. Um I don't know. Maybe.
Because, like,
Maybe.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's
But
like,
these nice ones,
'cause it's
I
like,
think they are happy just to see me occasionally when I
yeah,
am on tour in their country.
I think that they're just like the smart ones that are using escort services because, like, they're protecting themselves, not their marriage, is what I would say. I would say they're
What do you mean?
like, I would say they're using an escort service in order so that they don't get caught. So they're like protecting themselves. I don't think they're going into it saying, "Oh, I respect my marriage so much that I'm gonna book an escort because."
You know what? For me, it's an ultimate respect that somebody doesn't try to fool me, tell me beautiful things, just to sleep with me, and after I would have like no other interest in me, just wants to sleep with me, and that's it. I think it's a respect when somebody contact me and would say, I would like to spend 3 hours with you and I'm happy to pay your rate.
That's the thing. Men are more honest
So I
with you, aren't
think
they?
it's a respect, like he doesn't want to start a relationship besides his wife. And he also respects me, that he doesn't try to, tell me a beautiful story how he's super rich and we're gonna be together and we're gonna start a family and stuff.
Do you think
I think it's like clear.
Do you think seeing an escort is cheating?
Yes and no.
Okay, let's say you're in a relationship. Is it okay for your partner to see escorts?
Okay. It depends on what the relationship is.
Let's say you're married.
Okay. But what kind of marriage is it? Is it an ethical non-monogamy or a monogam relationship?
I don't know.
Because
Do you prefer
I
open
think
or?
anything it's cheating if it's not agreed otherwise, that they come up with another
I'm assuming these married
title.
I'm assuming these are closed marriages. Otherwise, they wouldn't maybe use escort services. They just like use a swingers site or a dating site and maybe play together sometimes. So I'm assuming these are closed relationships. So you would say it's cheating in that case.
Yeah.
And would you allow your partner to see escorts?
No,
You
because
wouldn't.
I want all his money for myself. I can never have too much jewelry,
But is it about the jewelry or is it about, does there feel like you're losing something if he gives attention to someone else? So
Both. But I think if my goal is to be in a relationship where it's honest, and if he would like to have sex with other people, I would expect him to be man enough and tell me that. And we discuss.
yeah,
And we come
exactly.
to a conclusion what is okay and what is not okay.
See, because that's
So
really
this
interesting.
would be
That's
the perfect ideal thing to the communication
yeah,
to discuss with your partner.
and that's the problem with these guys. I guess a lot of your clients is that they are doing it in secret. They are lying to their wife effectively. So it's like that's what makes it bad.
Well, and they also say that the same thing what my mom said. I think their wife knows it, but they are not looking. And it's kind of like both of them don't want to bring it up, but they kind of know if he's on business trip, he would have a little bit of fun here and there. But when he goes home, he is like nice to the wife. He's a family man, and then she don't want to know. So it's kind of like an agreement without actually speaking about it's an agreement. I'm not saying this is great, but I'm saying this is kind of an agreement what they managed to.
Yeah, I think it's very rarely a surprise to the girl. I think she'll always know the guy's cheating, even if she hasn't got evidence of it. She'll just know deep down. I think women's instincts for this are so good. I've seen it so many times with friends getting caught or friends realizing that their partner's also cheating on them because they are too. And it's like when one starts playing away, I think the other one does.
You know what? I heard an interesting statistic from some of the TED Talks. The study was saying that when man and woman are in relationship, first, actually, women start to get bored of the man, and it's not the other way around.
Yeah,
so a woman would get bored after around 3 years, and the man would only get bored of his partner after like 7 or 8 years. And I find it really interesting because usually we are talking about men are cheating more and they have higher libido than women. But what I experience from firsthand is like I have such a high libido, and you're also.
I think I'm in that camp. I think I'm in that camp as well.
Yeah, but you also said that your civilian friends from marketing, they had the same experience, that they had high libido. So I think
women in general have a much higher libido than men, but my age group, women do have a higher sex drive at around 40 years old.
Yeah, because
like
women,
men,
I think we are peaking around 35, 40, and men are declining earlier.
Much like from 21, I think we're constantly declining.
I should start to look for younger guys then.
Do you think all men cheat?
No.
What percentage do you think cheat?
Ever? Or just
Let's say,
regularly
on their current partner?
On their current partner.
Because that's the survey I have.
30%?
30%. So it actually varies by age group. Younger guys are much more loyal than older guys.
I feel like they don't have so much left, so they try to make the most of it.
I think younger guys are just more romantic, more idealistic, you know, like we're quite...
I just saw Gen Z is very romantic.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
And millennials are very pessimistic.
So men are more likely to cheat than women. 20% of men and 13% of women report having sex with someone other than their partner while still married. But the gender gap changes by age.
I was pretty close with the 30.
18 to 29-year-old group, women are more guilty of infidelity. So it's 11% of women and 10% of men that cheat in the younger age group.
Very close though.
Yeah, so I think that's also maybe a sign of the younger generations, there's more equality. You know, like women and men are more equal, so the cheating levels are equal because they're exposed to the same things, you know, in the same amounts of shame. So I think it might be a good sign. 30 to 39, men tend to get like more, like they cheat more. But I think that also might be because men kind of hit their peak for attractiveness around 35. So that might be something to do with it. I don't know. So maybe they have more options.
They're making more money. And probably their wife already have kids. What we talked about, it's a bit decreasing the libido.
Yeah. But it's interesting how men cheat more as the libido goes down.
Yeah. How do you say it in English? We say in Hungarian like a panic of the door closing. Midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis, yeah. Crisis. That's what this podcast is, by the way. It's my midlife crisis. And the people that cheat the most is men in their 60s, 24%. So it's like 1 in 10 for younger guys, 1 in 4 for older guys.
And you know what? I did notice that older guy, so obviously like they are financially more well off usually. The kids are out of the home and they are with the same person for such a long time. And it's they have a very strong bond usually. So it's something I haven't experienced from firsthand because I am 31, so it's impossible for me to be in relationship with somebody for 40 years.
Yeah.
So they would never leave their life partner, but they are wondering how is A level and other stuff.
Yeah.
Because they love their wife and maybe they do have a sex life, but they are not super open-minded and maybe their kink is something embarrassing what they are afraid of bringing up to their partner.
Or maybe just something the wife won't do.
Yeah, but I think a lot of time they're not even asking. They would already think it would be a no.
So that's like one of the reasons people cheat is they come to you because they've got something specific in mind.
Sometimes. Or it can be something really easy to me, for example, A level, but a lot of women think it's really painful and they would not even try, or they tried, but they didn't know how to do it, and their partner also didn't know how to do it. So it was indeed a horrible experience for them. So for them, it's a hard no.
Yeah, yeah. And has anyone ever cheated on you?
Yes.
How did it feel?
Um, it felt worse that he broke up with me after I slept with him. That he cheated on me before that. It was just the cherry on top. This was my first boyfriend when I was 15.
Oh,
Oh, very sad.
and no one else.
I hope he's watching it and feel terrible.
But how did it make you feel when someone cheated on you?
It was more like shock that, when I was 15, I thought being a virgin is like something special, kind of special. And I need to wait because this is what you hear. You need to make the man wait before you sleep with him to give your flower to him, right? Flower. And I just felt like my whole world collapsed because, oh my God, this was my first special moment. And I dated this guy for 4 months. And then he literally, the next time he met him, he broke up with me.
Oh.
So for me, it was the big crush that he was drunk and he fingered his ex. That was not a big deal. For me, it's more like the sleeping together and he would break up with me right after, but it doesn't even make sense because now we would have sex with each other. So why are you
So I guess that's
breaking up? So yeah.
And did it?
So for sure he was cheating. I don't know any of my other. Oh, there was one who cheated.
Was that bad for you?
Yeah.
How did it impact you? Like, did you still want to be in a relationship, or what was your feeling on it?
Oh, it was quite a long time ago. Try to think. We had so much fight and problems, and I can't remember when I figured out he cheated. But that was also just a cherry on top. But it was not a good feeling.
Yeah. Has being cheated on changed how you feel about men or relationships?
I think back then a little bit, but in a long term, no. I managed to overcome it, and I don't think all men cheat.
Yeah.
But it's more like it's the horrible thing is not that he slept. The funny thing is, you know what? He also didn't sleep with his ex-girl. It's the same thing. He went over and fingered his ex-girlfriend. So he didn't even sleep with her. This exact same thing what happened to me like 10 years earlier.
Also, he said.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I didn't have sex with her. I just did this. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
but it's the same thing like fingering.
Yeah, it's still cheating.
It's cheating, but it's more like betraying my trust. It's not about he had a fun night with his ex-girlfriend. If we would have set the boundary that's an okay thing, then it would have been okay, but it's more like lying about it.
If your husband cheated on you, what would you do? Do you think you have to end the relationship, or would you stay with them?
It depends if he is a billionaire and if he wrote a prenup or not.
Are you serious?
It depends on the circumstances. It's not a good thing to cheat, but you have to see what you have there. If you have 3 kids together and a mortgage, and we move together, I don't know, Bali.
So if your life's good, it's harder to walk away.
No, but if we have like so much history and you know, have a family and kids, and especially young kids, it's a bit rushed to just break up with somebody and like put a relationship to the trash.
I think that's fair.
I think would require a lot of communication, like why did the cheating happen, and is he in love with this person, or he was like being really drunk on a party with his friends and went to the strip club and one thing just. I'm not saying you can justify things with alcohol or drugs, but there are levels of cheating. So, for example, if your husband is on a stag party, getting super drunk, get a stripper, get a lap dance, and ended up having an accidental blowjob
I think
from the
an
stripper.
accidental blowjob.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know.
I do agree that like there's
So that it's not the same level as have a long-term lover who you are promising the lover that I love you and I'm gonna leave my wife for you.
yeah, I do think that alcohol is to blame for a lot of problems because it does make you more myopic. It does make you just think of the short term. And I think there's definitely a case to be made for like a drunk argument in the morning. You just have to dismiss it and just say, look, this is not a serious argument. We just have to wake up. It's a new day. And I think maybe it has to be the same with cheating and things because like if you're a drinker, then maybe that's just, I guess that's why girls often don't like their partner going out with the boys and getting drunk. You know, better to go out together. Do you ever think about, because you've been cheated on before and you remember how it feels, do you ever think about how the woman feels when you're with an escort client that's married, say? Do you ever feel guilty?
No,
No.
because it's not my business.
Yeah, I genuinely think that it's the person who's cheating's fault. But I do notice that a lot of women will blame the woman, you know, instead of her
Of
husband.
course, because then she need to acknowledge that her
Like, it's your fault because you placed an ad
yeah
and you called.
yeah, obviously it's easier to blame the other woman than to blame the partner who they don't want to admit that maybe that relationship is not that strong or there is a flaw in his character. So like probably 55 minutes ago you had a question like who is cheating and why they are cheating, and we only talk about the bored husband who are married
Yeah.
for 40 years and kind of we give the green card or at least the yellow card, like, okay.
Yeah,
No, not green, but like yellow.
like if
Okay,
he's not
this
getting
is
sex, he needs
yeah.
some sex from somewhere. Like that's the
Yeah, and then there are like younger guys. There are some people who would meet me just for once. There was this guy who really liked my corn movies, and he said, "Oh, I'm about to get married, but I always wanted to meet you before I get married, and this is my wedding gift to myself that I came to see you."
That's just a sign not to get married, I think. Like to marry somebody else if you're thinking about like sleeping with
Was this
before
on
your
the other
wedding.
hand, it's super difficult because you on one hand you have this like beautiful future with this nice woman and kids and house and mortgage and dogs and cats, and then you have this like fantasy
But the
But you
point,
can never fulfill, because usually women, even if you would bring them up, they would decline it. I would say most of the times.
depends, yeah. But
So
but
it's really
starting,
difficult. Yeah.
that marriage is never going to last, because like the point of the marriage is that you're giving up other people. You're committing to each other
Yeah, but that's the thing.
to build something
Men,
better together than you would alone. And there's sacrifices with that. You have to give up more than just sex as well. It's not just like having sex with the people.
yeah,
you
but
give up.
this is how men justify that we are not married yet, so I can cheat. But after I get married, like I am a saint, and like you are
I know what you
British,
mean. I know
know
what you
this
mean.
like stag parties
Yeah.
when guys are wearing the game over t-shirt.
We used to work in a stag party at
yeah,
Torgau.
yeah.
How many of the grooms
So they
would
think
cheat?
if it's the stag party, it's all okay to cheat.
How
A lot of
many-
them think it's okay. But after they get married, they're gonna see like, okay, now I need to do something, fuck shit up.
When you worked organising the stag parties, would
Yeah.
a lot of the stags cheat?
Some. But that's again what is cheating.
Well, that is cheating if you're getting married.
So I never saw them having sex with somebody, but I take them to the strip club, and then they would get a lap dance. And I think in Hungary it's
cheating.
kind of okay to touch. But
Yeah.
cheating is always a definition between the couple. So what you
That's
don't
true.
think is somebody thinks liking an Instagram picture is cheating.
I've dated girls like that, and it's insane.
So you know what I'm talking about.
It's insane. They call it micro cheating.
Micro cheating. What do you get for a comment?
No, I was dating this girl, and she started harassing my female friends. Like whenever I was in a photo with someone, she would start replying to their stories, calling them whores.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was quite extreme, but she was super hot.
I bet she was a freak in the sheets.
She was very conservative, extremely conservative, but Latin, so very passionate. That was good.
So
And
freak in the sheets, right?
crazy hot, just crazy hot. You can accept a lot of crazy when they're really hot. But I reached my limit quite quickly with that one. Really quickly.
I try to think what was like a funny story, like when a man would cheat.
Have wives ever caught your clients cheating when you're there?
No, but it's happened that I had a date arranged, and a few hours ago I got a message from the same number that, "Hi, don't know, Jerry's wife. Please don't expect him tomorrow. He won't go."
I would love to hear the conversation they had.
Yeah. But you know what? Once I
bet
had
she would be like, what? You're going to pay for another woman? That's it. From now on, you pay me.
So this was the only thing I can recall, but once I had a fly me to you date, and I usually don't visit people at their apartment, but he seemed nice, I screened, I got the deposit, all seemed fine, and I ended up being in somebody's home, and he was staying there with his wife and kids, and I felt super awkward. It's like the wife and kids, all their stuff was around us everywhere.
But they weren't there.
They weren't there, and I'm like, when they are coming, and it said, "Oh, on Monday morning 11," and my leaving time was Friday morning 9 a.m. And he was like so tired. But what if they come earlier or something, you know? And I have this really special hair color. If he was like, why there is this like long pink hair?
Do you know
You
what?
know, like my hair is
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's so stupid. And not just that, but every single neighbor is going to know what happened.
Yeah, and it was like not even like a fancy apartment. It was a block of flats. So it was like 10 floors and then like
Everybody would know.
Yeah, so it was not like a really private villa. Like everybody saw me walking in, they said hi, we went for a bike ride.
What an idiot.
This, like, I was feeding her daughter's guinea pig and playing with it.
You must have
Also,
felt bad about
I
that.
was eating for dinner the food what his wife was cooking a few days earlier. It was just so awkward for me. And like I really felt like anytime she could just like walk in.
You must have felt guilty on that one. Like, because like, I guess you had sex in their marital bed.
I think we were staying in his daughter's bedroom.
You had sex in his daughter's bed?
Uh,
Wow.
mhm.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. Oh my God. So, I mean, so there'd be like family pictures around
Yeah,
and you're just there
yep.
doing your
He, me,
job.
and the guinea pig.
Oh my God. Would you ever date someone that's in a relationship? Not for money, I mean.
It's hard to say. Never say no, but hopefully it won't happen.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but in the news, there was like Kyle Walker, a British footballer. He's got caught cheating again, I think, and he's had like a secret family. He got his mistress pregnant.
Wow, I'm not
Incredible.
surprised.
Do you think footballers cheat more than average men? 'Cause I mean, you're obviously known to have had some footballer clients.
Uh, I don't know if they cheat more, but they definitely, when they cheat, um, then it's more public.
Well,
So if they cheat, there is like very highly likely to somebody would figure out once they.
but that's why they use like people like you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's why they should pay people like me if they
Generally
are
they do,
smart,
or
and if they are not,
they
then
sign
they don't.
NDAs and things like that.
Yeah. So definitely, like they cheat. I'm not sure it's more or less than a civilian man, but yeah.
Do you think
If the affair is going wrong, of course the girl is gonna be really pissed and likely to reveal the affair. So
And do you think it's like the fame of being a footballer that makes them more likely to cheat, or do you think it's the money? Like, do you find that wealthy men cheat more than poorer men, for example?
I think they have the money. It gives them more flexibility, for sure. Because for another man who have a smaller monthly budget, they don't have an option to see a provider. They can only hook up with girls. But the problem, if they are an older middle-aged man with losing a bit of hair, then he doesn't have a really good chance to have just a nice hookup.
Mm-hmm.
But a football player have, because girls will spend time with them just because
Yeah.
they're famous.
Yeah, they can go crazy if they want. Is there anything you want to bring up?
Have you cheated on your girlfriend before?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, because
How do you don't know that?
I don't know if it's
Stag
classed as
party.
cheating. No,
The stag party.
so
You didn't. Vodka did.
I have cheated, but then when I have cheated, I felt so guilty. I've broken up with the girl I'm dating before I've seen them again. So it's like I've kind of
So you get back with her.
no, and if I've slept with another woman, then I've thought, okay, well, I can't keep seeing this other girl, so I'll break up with her. Because if I'm seeing other people, then clearly I don't want to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen it more as like, okay, this is the end, and just broken up. So I don't know if that's cheating or maybe I've stopped myself from cheating by.
You did cheat. You are just justifying in the end, like how it was okay because now we are not together anyways.
Yeah. So, but I don't think that's
Oh,
cheating.
maybe that's why my first boyfriend broke up with me.
Maybe.
Because he was with that girl a few weeks earlier.
Could be. I've dated more than one girl at the same time, but I think when you're just dating, like that's the rules, isn't it? Like everybody does. Like You're just like trying people out to see what fits.
Yeah, that's definitely not cheating.
Yeah.
But once you agree don't be exclusive or whatever the title you want.
Yeah, once I'm like in a relationship, I'm committed. But before that, that's the gray area. And I've never cheated like when it's in a relationship. I've only cheated when it's in that gray area, when you're clearly not dating, you're in a relationship, but you're not sure what it is. Like you know, when you haven't had that conversation. And when I have seen someone else then, I've just gone, nah, let's go.
That's like, how do you call it at work? There's a trial period.
Yeah, I don't know.
When you don't finalize somebody, you're like, okay, we are trying you for 3 weeks. And
Yeah, well, it's that weird stage when, because I find sometimes you know you want to be with someone, but you're not sure if they want to be with you. And some people are so scared of commitment that if you say anything too early, it's over because they get like scared. And then other people are the opposite, where if you don't act really fast, they lose interest because they think you're not interested. I find dating so confusing and so messed up that now I don't think about it so much. I just go with the flow. But definitely before, when I was younger, I used to find that so confusing.
It is. And also international love is so difficult when you start to date with somebody from a different background. And for example, for some women, if their husband is sleeping with another woman, it's more okay. And in other countries, it would be less okay.
Yeah.
They would think, for example, gambling is more like a problem if the house disappears, not the husband for a few nights.
Yeah, and people don't know what they want as well. Like, people always say what they want. Like, I've dated women who say, oh, they don't want commitment, they want to be free, and you just have something quite casual. And then when they find out you're also seeing other people, they get super jealous and crazy, and it's all over. And it's like, but you said we're free, you know? It's like, and then the opposite as well, like people that say they want commitment,
Yeah,
then
but
they don't.
you are dating people who are immature.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that myself, so.
You are?
Very.
But at least you're not a cheater.
Technically.
Technically.
I go out of it on a technicality. But yeah, anything else we need to talk about with regards to cheating? I think we've done a lot. Do you see your job as cheating?
Cheating?
If you have a boyfriend and you're escorting, do you see that as cheating?
I am super open.
Yeah, well, they know, don't
because
they?
I started with webcam when I was really young. Somebody just told me above 30 it's middle-aged. I just realized I'm middle-aged now.
I don't think you are. I think middle-aged is like 40 to 50. I think even 50 is, yeah. You're middle-aged when you get to like halfway through your life. You're not halfway through your life. Yeah.
But for a 25-year-old...
I think in Hungary, if you were male, you would be middle-aged, because Hungarian men don't live very long, but Hungarian women live a long time, so...
shit. I forget what I was about to say.
Is your job cheating?
Yeah, so for me, I am super open with what I do. And I started with webcam and shooting movies, and now I'm a companion. So whenever I meet a person, they know me. They know from day one what I do, and I give them the option to, is it okay for you or not? And if they are okay, then I don't think it's cheating once they know and they said it's okay.
And that's, I think, how I think. Like, I always say to my friends when they say they're thinking about seeing someone else, I say, if you can't bring it up with your wife or partner and say, I'm thinking about seeing other people, then don't do it, because it's just lying and it's dishonest and it's...
But you know what? Remember I mentioned you that some women, they're kind of okay that they're on purposely not looking.
Well, yeah, there was this kind of thing, yeah.
Some women, they are also happy that
some
their
men
husband,
some men too.
They are not bringing it up. It's just like a mutual understanding without saying it out loud. So
I think that's
difficult. I think whatever floats your boat, it's always up to the two people.
I've
decide
seen
what's there.
I've seen that, but that's not a decision. I've seen that more in cases where when a guy is like really besotted with a woman and just wants her so much, and she's not as into him, and so he's just like blind to all the cheating and blind to the fact that she doesn't like him that much, and maybe she's just there for the money or as a fallback, you know, the emotional support, whatever. And I think with women too, like, and it's like, oh, if I don't know about it, it won't hurt me. And I think that's incredibly toxic and won't last very long, because eventually that partner's going to find someone they've got a good connection with and they're going to go.
You think so? Since when you're a relationship expert?
I'm very good on relationships with other people's relationships.
Oh, I see.
With my own, not so good. It's so easy to advise friends though. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Relationships are super easy if it's other people's. It's like, just talk. Just communicate.
Yeah. But I personally try to be a good example, like being super open, and I try to embrace people, motivate people to be honest with their partner. And
do you, like, when people book, do you like, have you told your wife about this? Like, it's like escort service plus conscience. Like, don't you think you should? That'd be so funny. Try it for a week. Maybe it'll be like a new form of BDSM where you just like emotionally beat them afterwards.
Yeah, or like just I need to like print out a document and like, please read this and sign that you are aware you are cheating your wife, and she would cry if she would find out, and think about what you are doing to the relationship, and if you are conscious is still okay, please sign here.
Yeah, you're basically destroying your family. All right, but I think we've learned a lot today, and yeah, it's really interesting to hear your take. And it's not as I've spoken to other escorts, and I've noticed a lot of escorts have a really terrible view of men. Like, some escorts seem to kind of hate men and think all men cheat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm glad you have some perspective and you realize that it's like the men you see, it's like there's some selection bias, you know? It's like,
yeah, so let's say I'm meeting usually those like 20% or whatsoever. But even from the 20%, I don't think they are all horrible. And as I said, it's a scale of cheating and deceiving each other.
Yeah, and I think it's usually relationship problem causes cheating rather than cheating causes relationship problem. But yeah, so thanks so much for coming again.
It was a fun chat.
Yeah, and next time we do one, it'll have a new name.
Yeah?
I'll just keep changing the podcast name.
Do you already have an idea?
No. I'm going to keep with this one, hopefully, unless someone sues me. We'll see how it goes. And
how many people are currently suing you?
Lots of people are threatening to.
Oh.
But one of them turned out to be sleeping with the lawyer as an escort client.
Oh, wow.
That was Kiara. And the other one, Woodman, just has a loud mouth, keeps threatening to sue me, but hasn't. The other one is on trial next month for child rape. So, like, it's not going very well for people trying to sue me, it seems.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Good luck on the trial.
I want to go, actually, but I think I don't want to cause more distress to the victims just by being there and talking to people.
Who's on trial?
Dennis Black Magic.
Oh, the PIMP.
Yeah, he's on trial for...
I thought he learned from his mistake because he have been to jail for the same thing, right?
Yeah, but this time they also found underage porn on his computer, so...
Oh, cherry on top again.